So now I miss say, don't tell me say all of it done. So I miss say where is that love we used to know? I miss say, don't tell me
You're
say
in
all
tune
of
to the
it.
Powerhouse Radio, linking the world to the Caribbean. Disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed on the Powerhouse radio station are those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily
Can
those
you
of
hear
the
me?
station, its management, or other hosts or
You don't
advertisers.
know why my phone doing this.
On the Powerhouse radio station can promote any lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are
You
for
can hear me?
entertainment purposes
Yep,
only
I
and
can hear you,
are not
hearing
intended
you
to
through the
treat,
phone rather than through my headset.
any
I think
cure.
I need to go out and come back. I'm gonna use the same link. It'll just be a minute.
Everything to the Powerhouse Radio and its programming.
I know we on. I gotta do it in order for us to be here together.
Visitors are
It
urged
won't take but a minute. Here I go.
to draw their own conclusion. We emphasize the importance of keeping an open mind.
One Volunteer full range of products embodies fundamental nutrients necessary to maintain beautiful and healthy hair care without having to combine an assortment of hair care products. The one by one care products are designed to rejuvenate, moisturize, create shine, fortify, and stimulate hair growth while leaving your hair feeling weightless and luxurious. Be sure to visit our website at www.onebywnkaya.com and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at One by One Kia. Let's get your healthy hair care journey started today. The Hinkson Firm's mission is to provide superior legal service in the areas of family law, child welfare law, general legal services, and mediation by keeping convenience of the clients at the forefront. The Hinkson Firm's goal is to eliminate the stress of an already intense situation in your life by coming directly to your workplace and or a location close to your home for consultation, meetings, and mediation. The Hinkson firm customized legal attention based on the needs of each client while treating every client with the dignity and respect they deserve, while fighting strongly and fiercely for justice and their legal rights. The Hinkson firm can be reached at 470 499 4704.
Well, greetings, and welcome to Reasoning Thursdays, another edition of Reasoning Thursdays with yours truly, Lady D and Mama Acid, right here on the Powerhouse Radio, linking the world to the Caribbean. And we want to also invite you to join us via our telephone lines at 667 Also, that's the listening line. But to call us in the studio and vibes with us, or place to make a comment, or what have you, keep it clean. 706-955-2001. That's 706-955-2001. And once again, you're tuned into Reasoning Thursdays each and every Thursdays from 7 p.m. up until the 8 o'clock hour. And if we need to go over, we go over. But with yours truly, Lady D and Mama Acid, we also encourage you to invite and all of those, send your friends, your family, your kitten, your send them all over. Tell them to all come on over right here and vibes with us, and like, share, um, comment, press the notification button on our YouTube channel. And we most definitely appreciate each and every one of you. Mama Acid, do you want to say greetings to our listeners? You're muted. You're muted. You're muted. So we waiting for Mama Acid so that we can hear you. And we can't hear you. But Mama Acid is on the
You
line.
should be able to hear me.
Yeah, I'm hearing you now. Yeah, we're hearing you now.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
Bear with me 1 second. We got to get rid of our headset. I don't know. Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, we're hearing you loud and clear.
Okay, but I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Am I low? You hearing me? You just want me to be louder. How about that? Can you hear me
Speak
better?
up.
Can you hear me better now?
I'm gonna go get my headset. 1 second.
All right, Mama Ass is going to get her headset, but listen, we have a full program for you with some current events and some thoughts. We're going to be talking about this critical race theory thing that's going on and the wanting to go on in our public school systems. And
Okay,
pa-
can you hear me now?
yeah, parents is being
Yes, we are good.
parents are parents are Mama Ass is getting comfortable.
You know I am. I forgot to get my pillow.
All right. Some parents are saying yay, some parents are saying nay to it. We want to talk about what's your thought on Mike Pence. And the air is just open tonight. It's the floor is open tonight. And as we ask you all each and every week is to agree to disagree, but let's respect each other thoughts, each other opinions. So welcome. Once again, the numbers to call in 706-955-2001. That's 706-955-2001. So, Mama Acid, you didn't get to greet our listeners.
Well, listeners know that I be having technical challenges every week. This week we are using our new Pixel in
Oh,
order to try to get a good picture so we're not blurry and hopefully we'll have good sound.
all right, all right.
We did look at some of the videos and we were not pleased. So
Uh,
we decided we would try different technology. And as you see, we still trying to figure out how to use it.
but that's all right. It's not about the technology, it's about the information and
Yeah,
getting
you're right.
the information out there because whether they see us or not, they hear the voices. And trust me, the information is definitely there. So if this is your first time joining us, we want to say welcome to Reasoning Thursday. And welcome. And I hope it don't be your last time. And do once again share our YouTube, our Facebook link, on our website, TuneIn app, our other streaming partners. We just want to thank each and every one for being a part of Reasoning Thursdays. So, Acid, was where we starting at? We didn't even touch one of our favorite artists, Don. So let's get in it a little bit, and then we touch it, Don. Minutes.
Well, I got a question for Don Minot too, because after the way they verbally assaulted Dr. Fauci up in the Senate, I think Don Minot, if he's listening, I hope he will call in and help us understand exactly what we were witnessing, because quite honestly, I felt like I was in an old lady wig snatching match.
Ooh, it was like that. They
It
they
was ugly.
they like badgered him. I didn't watch it.
Jim Jordan is an idiot and a racist, and um, quite honestly, he's a person who doesn't understand common sense. The way he attacked Dr. Fauci and he was screaming at Dr. Fauci, win, 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 win. He was screaming this at Dr. Fauci to the point that Jim Clyburn told him, don't worry, we got that on the agenda. And then when Auntie Maxine got tired, she gavelled him. Shut your mouth. That's what she said. You will shut your mouth.
She always be telling them to shut up.
But the way she says it, she talks to persons directly.
Yeah.
She doesn't spare anybody's feelings, and she runs her committee like a person who understands how government works. One of the things I hope we can touch this week,
Okay. What is that?
I got that look.
Yeah, and I'm like, what is that?
This new form of lynching that's going on right now.
Okay, we have a new form of lynching going on. Well, are we where are we gonna start? Critical race theory, lynching, Mike Pence, or is there another something else up your sleeve? 718. And we apologize for being a little bit late today, but
It's my fault. I couldn't quite get the technology.
don't tell no story. It was both of our faults. We share this. Okay, we share this. The ups, the down, the good, bad. We share this. But go on. Which one we starting with?
Why don't we start with the hidden joker in the deck?
Okay.
I like to like, pull out some crap sometime.
Pull out the crap. Let's go.
We started out a couple weeks ago talking about why it only took 8 months for them to pass the Asian
The Asian bill.
anti-hate bill.
Right.
What I want to know now is why is it just the Asian hate bill? Why did they pass the Asian hate bill? Why didn't they just pass a general bill that would cover hate regardless of who you
Yeah.
are? Why did they specifically work on the Asian hate bill and ignore for the past 30 years John Conyers' request for reparations for black people? That doesn't actually go together, but it goes together like this. We don't want to talk about it no more. We already done talked about it enough. Now, either you gonna do something or we gonna do something. Yeah, that's announcement. Folks don't realize.
You need to sometimes
Look here, they're making people sick, physically ill. Okay, I'm not kidding when I say physically ill. Last night at 5 o'clock in the morning, I threw up. At 5 o'clock in the morning, I
mm,
threw up. Why would I be throwing up at 5 o'clock in the morning? I haven't drank anything, didn't eat anything. I was so full of stress, my body had to eliminate it any way it could. I totally went in there and gave up some stress. And after I threw up, I felt better. The deal is this: we're internalizing stress too much. Metadata was talking about this, Medicare daughter was talking about this the other day. Medicare daughter has some really good tips about dealing with stress, and I want to shout out to her because her show is the bomb.
big up Medicure.
Yeah, and also
Yeah, the kids way.
them kids can tell you how to handle stress because they going through some and they're talking about it. It's interesting to me to hear little kids discussing how do you have fun with your friends when you can't be with your friends, but you want to be with your friends, so you got to figure out how to work it out.
Yeah.
These kids are teaching us every single day. I'm learning so much because if we all listen to those kids on Tuesday night,
Mhm.
Lady D, tell them about the kids show, please, because I love them kids,
You learn a
especially
lot.
M Queen.
They are real cute and they're 11-year-olds. All of them are 11 going on 12. And it's a great forum on Tuesday nights from 6 to 7. It's called The Kids Way. And, please support them. That's why it's important for you to go to the YouTube channel and like and share and notifications so you know the programs when they come on live so you can come and check it out.
Black creators, we got to start them early and we got to start them right. That's why Lady D is taking the time to let these kids produce their own show. They get their own material. They do everything. These kids are fantastic. Lady D has really given a lot of people a lot of strength. She has really helped a lot of us come out of our shells. And I just want to say thank you to that. I want to say thank you, Lady D, for all of the wonderful programming that you've been giving us because during this pandemic, we didn't know what was going to happen. We stuck it out. Sometimes it might have been hard, but you still stuck it out. Even when you didn't feel well, when you were going through your trials and tribulations, deaths, all kind of stuff, you stuck it out.
Thank
You
you.
a trooper.
I appreciate you, but I want to know why you was throwing up at 5 in the morning.
Stress. Okay, so what has happened is we have a new disease that people are not able to understand, and it's a stress disorder. What's happening is we're internalizing all of the stress around us from all the things that we can't control, like money, jobs, personal situations, stuff that happens in your neighborhood, maybe something happening in your house. And instead of us dealing with it, we're internalizing it, and it is actually making us sick. I threw up because my body could not take anymore. My body said, "That's it. You're gonna let this go right now."
But you threw
When
up
I
after
threw up, it
you
was like I felt something was
threw
lifted
up
off of me.
you threw up after the release because when things happen, and you feel some type of relief, then you're able to exhale. So you were able to exhale, you know what I mean? And that was the way your body chose to exhale. Big up Medicure daughter.
Big up,
We were
Medicare doctor.
we were just talking about you and your fantabulous program. So big ups to
Yes, honey, cause she be putting it out there.
Sunday 6 to 7. But you threw up
Hmm.
because your body was releasing, was finally able to exhale because you've inhaled and you've inhaled and you've inhaled. And then finally the relief came, and you're like, so everything that was bottled up in your system, in your soul, and I'm not Medicure daughter by no means or form of way, but all of that was built up inside of you finally was able to be released.
That
And
was a blessing.
I give thanks for you for that for you, you know. And
I'm grateful that you were awake at 6 o'clock in the morning to talk to me to help me, calm down and get through it because many people don't want to answer the phone that time of morning because it's difficult. You are afraid something bad could be happening. It could be an emergency. You don't know. But the other person on the other end is calling you because it is an emergency. And when we have people who love us and care for us, they help us to work through these issues. That's why I'm grateful to have you. I'm grateful to have everybody that's associated with DA Powerhouse because DA Powerhouse Radio is a family. We are 100% family. We all up in each other's closets. And I'm not kidding.
okay,
Oh, and Tonia,
on to
I
Asian.
got a message for Tonia.
We going to the give your message to Tania, and then let's get to the Asian hate bill.
What up, Marcus and McKenna? Tonia! Tonia! I love you, girl, but you need to talk about these dogs eating these people.
Okay.
She's so nice. She don't get rough on it. I want Tania to get rough with it. I want her to get in there like Marcus.
I think Mama Acid is doing too much exhaling. We need to start back inhaling a little bit. Big ups to Let's Gripe, to Mia and the entire crew over there, McKenna. Great job every Wednesday nights at 7 to 8 p.m.
Oh,
Asian
and one other thank you.
build up acid.
You know the one thank you that I hardly ever give, but I really want people to understand. There's a show that comes on. It's called All About Love.
Acid.
If you got some problems and you got somebody you can't talk to in your life and you need to kind of figure out how you're gonna reach out to them,
Are we
just send them a song.
why don't we just are we gonna talk
I
about
sent somebody a song this week in Jamaica, and you know what? They heard it after 20 years of not speaking to me. They're talking to me again. So
listen,
for the people at
big
All About Love,
big ups to all
thank
about
you.
love, nothing but love, each and every Sunday nights from 7 p.m. up until 9 p.m. with the beautiful Blossom Cool G, yours truly, Lady D.
Oh yes, I love how she said the beautiful blossom.
Beautiful Blossom Cool G.
And Cool G.
All right, so I need to know about the new lynching. And while we're at it, let me just do this while we're at it. Okay. Running down the programs on kicking it off on Sundays, you have the Gospel Explosion in the mornings. You have Medicure Daughter from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. You have All About Love, Nothing But Love on Sundays from 7 to 9 p.m. You do
Mm-mm. 7 to 10.
7 to 9 p.m.
I
You have
still wanted to go longer.
all about love, nothing but love. And if you want a poem or make a dedication to someone, you send it to dapowerhouseradio@gmail.com. On Tuesdays, we have The Kids Way from 6 to 7 p.m. On Wednesday, we have Let's Gripe from 7 to 8 p.m. On Thursdays, as today, you have Reasoning Thursdays from 7 to 8 p.m. On Saturdays, you
You
have
forgot Too Strong.
you and after the Lady D, after Reasoning Thursday 7 to 9, you have the Two Storm Praise Moment from 9
Yes.
to 10. Then you have Saturdays. You do have the Bishop Blair Gospel Explosion from 8 to 10 a.m. The Lady D Show from 12 to 4 p.m. So
That's
you
right.
that's our full schedule as we continue to add. We're getting ready to add another program after All About Love, Nothing But Love, and
The Jazz Show.
we're solidifying that one right there. We're speaking on that one. So we're negotiating on that one. Put it
Okay, I know I got to close my eyes. I'm scared of people. I get excited when I hear about the new programming.
as we continue week after next, not this Saturday, the following Saturday, I'll be interviewing Lady Ann, informer in the area, murderer.
Yes, the
And
one.
make sure that you join me next week, Saturday, for that interview with the legendary artist, Lady Ann, and that's 12 to 4 on the Lady D show. Mama Acid, let's get to we got half an hour to get to some serious talking because we
You
just
say serious topics. Do you actually think these people are serious? I don't think they serious because Mike Pence is not serious.
as they say, pea footing around stuff. Mike
He's
Pence,
still sleeping on somebody else's couch in Indiana. They ain't even bought a house yet. How he gonna run for anything? He better be running for the couch store and for the real estate office.
well, for Mike Pence, he's been seen, it's speculated. He didn't say he was running. It's a speculation that he may be making a pitch for the 2024 president elect election. And it went from South Carolina because he's been at the South Carolina. He's been at the now he's been at the New Hampshire, and he is supposed to be traveling. Big up to
Big
myself.
up, Simo.
Radio, great lineup. We sure have a fantabulous lineup right here on the
We
Powerhouse.
do.
And we want to thank you for tuning in right here on the Powerhouse Radio. All right.
He didn't say he was running, but you know what? Donald Trump said in August he gonna be reappointed president.
Well, I would like to see if Mike Pence really throw his hat in there besides Donald Trump. If Donald Trump is really running or really considered to run, it will be interesting to see Mike Pence against Donald Trump and to hear what exactly Mike Pence has to say about Donald Trump during all of these town halls and all of these things. Don't you think?
That's a dirty diaper talking to a diaper pail.
A dirty diaper talking to a diaper pail. Ah, we have to. That's a good one. Medicare
Pure stink.
says he is delusional. Huh?
He is more than delusional. I think that what they're doing is confusion. Now we're talking about the new lynching. So reason that I threw in Mike Pence first is because this all started in Indiana.
Okay.
I didn't know it started in Indiana until 2 days ago when someone came.
Sybil
Oh,
says,
let's see.
Sybil
Monique
says,
sent out
how
about the
do you
people
all
wearing the airport slipper pajamas and the. Oh, yes, yes, yes. We need to talk about that, about the bonnets.
Sybil
Because
says, how do
I'm
you
guilty.
feel
I
about
am guilty. I am guilty. And I
acid?
am going to hold my hand up and say so.
Mama Acid, are you hearing me? Are you hearing me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, thanks. Sybil says, how do you, we have to read our questions because we not only have listeners on YouTube or Facebook live, we have listeners who are listening during our telephone, online, our internet, and all of our other streaming partners. So Sybil says, how do you all feel about that message that Monique sent out? Two people who wearing bonnet at the airport, slippers, pajama, outside on the street. and then Medicure says hot. So you can
She's right.
press
We
that.
shouldn't be doing that.
Okay.
I had my bonnet on out in the backyard the other day,
Okay.
and I'm not gonna lie, I knew I had it on. I could have took it off before I went outside,
Okay.
but I ain't going all the way. I mean, occasionally I sneak outside to put a bag in the garbage to, you know, late at night I might have on my pajamas and my robe and my slippers, and I run out in the backyard and I throw it in the dumpster, and then I run right back in the house. I'm not going to the store. I'm not getting in my car driving out. And another thing that I understand what she's saying that black women, we have to have more pride in our appearance. But I also want to add this. I appreciate what Monique is saying. I really do, because I needed somebody to just say to me, look, that ain't cute. It's true. It's not. It's not cute.
Said
We
that
don't have to go out there and, you know,
Sybil says that's different. We're talking about in the public. Now,
yeah, but that's what I'm saying, is that we don't have to get in the car on our way to work with our bonnet on still.
I want to, at this time, mixing clothes with, for me, mixing, I have items that I choose to wear in the house, and I have that can be worn on the street. Now,
Yeah, they regular street clothes.
didn't see what Monique had to say, honestly. I did not see it. But
She said we need to have more pride in ourselves and stop dressing like we in the house outside the house.
who can define for you what is in the house or what's outside? Suppose your clothing that you have is that's what you have. And you use both clothing for inside or outside of the house. Now,
That's ableist.
okay, yeah, the bonnet thing, maybe we could take off the bonnet, but some people don't do their hair and maybe they can't afford this wig. But if they're buying a plane ticket, then they may can afford the wig. But whom is it to say how I must dress and how, because how I feel? Now I understand this. So and yeah, there used to be a dress code. There used to be all of these things that used to happen before you fly, and there's a reason why they lax that. Because each person is different, and maybe what I classify as being my home, my house clothes, you may think, I mean, my street clothes, your opinion of it is that it's house clothes. So,
Hmm.
you know, for me, if I choose, I know who I am and I know how I can dress when I feel like dressing. And that doesn't, my clothes don't define me
Mm-mm.
and who I am. So if you want to look at me and you don't like what you see, then turn the other eye.
But you
But
know what this is all about. You know it's about ableism.
if I am comfortable within myself, I shouldn't have to change how I feel at that particular time on how I feel to dress, walk, talk to accommodate you.
That's what I'm talking about.
So
Big up, Lady D.
you
Shoot
have a
down that ableism.
if you have a problem with it, I'm sorry. Because there's times that I go out and no, I don't put on a bonnet. I wear my scarf. I might tie a scarf around my head because my hair
I
is
done that. I get the baseball cap.
and I may be cleaning my yard. I may be cleaning my yard and I need to run. I need to dash over there to Home Depot. You know, I'm not going to run upstairs to get dressed to make somebody else feel good because how they think that I should dress. Medicure daughter says it is technically only a perception. Sybil says wear a hat and sagging their pants, hanging down in the public. But Lady D, you have some of them that overdoing look really ridiculous. Yes, you do. You do, Sybil. You have persons that are overdoing it and do look really ridiculous. And when you're speaking of sagging pants, that's from how many years we've been asking our young men to pull up their pants. So yeah, there's certain looks, yeah, that I am not for. I don't respect, I don't like, but who am I? I can say, boy, pull up your pants, but I can't change you. you know, and to say that I don't value myself because I choose to dress differently
Or
or
comfortably.
relaxedly or in my pajamas, you know, who classified this item as being pajamas? The one who made it? Half of them, hell, I have, like I said before, I have clothes that pajamas that you would think is an everyday outfit,
Yeah.
you know? So that's all I'm saying.
Like those lounging pajamas, those real nice ones that you can wear when you on camera working. I got a couple of those dresses, or if I have to have a meeting, you
Yeah,
just put it on. Don't nobody know what's at the bottom.
it
You
will
just
be it will be much tastefuler and it would be more eye appealing, as Zephyr said. More the perception of it may look a little better to other people if you dress up, and it also comes down to even what Sybil says. Some is ridiculous because like some lifestyles. I feel that even those lifestyles, some of the individuals act ridiculous, and it doesn't. You don't need to act that way, but still, that's my perception of it. But they're comfortable within themselves, either whether they're being boisterous or whatever it is. They're comfortable, but it's uncomfortable. Is not appealing for me. It
I want not to cut you, but I want to ask you, how do you feel when you in Walmart and the people in front of you got their crack showing?
Hold on. Medicure daughter says some people only eat their food with fork and knife and think eating with a spoon is weird. Okay. That's good. And when you ask a question, acid, that sounds cute. And when you ask how do I feel with someone standing in front of me with showing me their crotch, I don't like it. And because I don't like it, I don't look. I turn my head.
Sometimes you don't have no choice. It's just all up in your face.
You look, you see it, and then you just make a conscious decision within your mind. Listen, this is nasty.
It
I'm
happened to
not.
me the other night. I was in the supermarket checking out, and a lady in front of me, her pants, obviously, she didn't have a belt. They kept sliding down. The last time they slid down, they not only exposed her behind, but her whole panties didn't have. She didn't have on no panties, so she was up in there rough riding. It was kind of like I was. I don't want to say grossed out, but I just felt that it was inappropriate that you would come out to the supermarket
Mhm.
to show your whole butt.
Okay.
And for the record, it was a white lady. It was not a black lady.
And it could be that
Oh, and I was in the supermarket with the strippers the other night.
the Medicare daughter says, "Excuse us. We use the wear clothes which can flex in public and private." Exactly. We
Yeah, like the strippers, because
but
they were dressed for work.
yes,
They had on those feather boa things around the little see-through top and the little short panties type thing, and they had on the boots that come way up to the thighs. And I was like, they out here dressed like that, and I don't understand how they got in the supermarket like that. But nobody was saying anything to them. They were just buying a bunch of stuff, and then when they checked out, they just they didn't bother nobody. They was just dressed very provocatively, and
yeah.
the girl clearly had just gotten off from her stripper job because she
And
had glitter on and stuff. And so I'm not gonna say that they shouldn't shop. I'm gonna just say that maybe you need to get you a pair of sweatpants and put them in your trunk, and maybe a zip up hoodie or something, because you don't need to show off your fine delicious body to
and that's
everyone. They're not worthy.
where Sybil was saying some of them is really ridiculous, which it is true. You have some people that just goes to the extreme to be seen, to be heard, you know, and seeking attention. Medicure daughter says, "Mama Acid, I don't look and separate the energies." Um, Sybil says that's what's wrong. No one says anything, and but in this time and
You're right,
age,
Sybil.
you saying something
Could get you shot.
is and you, I mean, is it worth? Is Was it irritating you that much that it was worth your life, or an argument, or an unnecessary fight because of their choice?
Mm-mm.
Zephyr, Medicure daughter Zephyr says we are free to choose. I would not have it if that's how they must have looked in the mirror or looked down at themselves and saw what they looked like.
They ain't got no mirrors in their house. Going out dressed like that.
Did you hear what I said? I said they obviously they had to have looked down too in order to buckle their shoes or to put on their shoes. So they see how they look. And I'm not, and trust me, I'm no hypocrite. I sometimes I dislike a lot
I ain't going to the
what
supermarket in my 90.
I dislike a lot of what I see out there, but you know,
I'm not speaking on it.
it's not my business to say, why don't you go put some clothes on? I would turn to my nieces, my nephews, my family members and be like, that don't look good. You need to go put on some clothes. Go comb your hair. Fix up yourself, look better. But
Yeah, 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 yeah.
it's not my business to tell a complete stranger, you know what I'm saying? That
But
hey,
maybe nobody else is telling them. That's what Sybil was saying. Maybe nobody else is telling them.
I conserve my energies unless it hinders.
You
Hello?
right, Medicare daughter. You
So
so right.
I don't put so I don't put so much energies or anything. The number is 706-955-2001 into someone else's appearance. I may giggle, I laugh, I may talk and say, watch out, look what you have on. To my sister, you know what I mean? To my sisters, and we may giggle.
And we not gonna be loud.
They have friends. If their friends and their family didn't tell them, who am I to tell them? Sybil says, because they have no friends. Oh, look at that. I just said it. Because they have no friends or anyone to tell them the truth before they enter out the door. How do they look? Exactly. That's what I just said. I said, where sometimes you go to parties and you look at people and you be like, they with their friends, and you be like, come on, no.
That's
Why
not your friend. That's your frenemy.
friends couldn't tell them that they don't look good? Because I'm going to hurt my sister feeling. I'm going to hurt my good friend feeling because I'm going to say, girlfriend, and I expect you to hurt mine when I'm out of the box.
I ain't letting you walk out with no tag sticking out your dress.
Medical daughter says, yeah. Yeah, so I'm not going to let you walk out looking stupid.
Uh-uh.
So Sybil, myself and you is on that same page right there. Critical race theory.
Critical race theory right now is resulting in us finding out about this new form of lynching, and a lot of it started in Indiana. So that's why we started with Mike Pence. Now, this new form of lynching is something that has been discussed numerous times. We've discussed numerous persons being inflicted by many different police agencies and other types of things simply
Go ahead. Sorry.
bless up Kimar, simply because they just don't know the law. So what they do is they use this tactic. This tactic is dirty. They
Okay.
go out, they go to parking lots when they ain't got enough arrests or they trying to build up their tickets, whatever,
Mhm.
and they run the whole parking lot. They run all of the tags in the parking lot, so they know who has insurance. They know who has an expired tag. They know whose car is stolen. They know all of that.
Mhm.
Then they sit out there and they wait. Then what they do is when they want to narrow it down, they know what time certain type of people work. So they know they can get some warrants out of it. So what they do is they go out there and they set up a sting operation. Doesn't look like it because they just go right up in the parking lot and they just sit up in there in a regular car that they have confiscated. So it could be a car that was in your parking lot last week, so it wouldn't look out of place. Then they set up camera surveillance. They start watching not just what's going on in the parking lot, but also what happens in the interim. They want to know when people are coming and going. Then they pick their target list. So within a week, they've picked out their spot, they've picked out their targets, and they've defined the target. So then they use that intelligence that they've gathered illegally, because it's illegal, and they actually do warrant searches for different people in different places. So when they find out that someone in that building has an open warrant, they'll wait and they'll find out when that person is going to be there so they can snatch them up. The deal is this: They using them as bait. So
Mm-hmm.
the person that they snatch up, they're gonna be on TV. Everybody is gonna see them. They're gonna put them in a position of looking like they're the ones who are making this all happen. But it could be somebody that could be facing an immigration case, and this is the way to lure other people who are connected to them out.
Right.
So that person goes home. Then other people come to their house. They still watching them. You know what happens next? They having a party, or they going to a party, or they going to go to a church or a family reunion. All of a sudden, here you 6, 8 cop cars show up.
Oh, I told them. Oh, you thought 6, 8 cop cars show up. Just want to say, a Medicare daughter says yes. Blas, someone needs to present bitter and sweet. We have Kamar that says loving the program, and we have Medicare daughter asking if we're going to 8 or 9.
Y'all just be forcing this issue, but Lady D ain't trying to hear it.
9 o'clock. Go on, acid.
Okay, so they get these videos, right, and they amass them into this major. I don't even like to talk about Nexus Lexus, but we're going to talk about it today. The NCIC is the National Crime Information Center, and it's run by Nexus Lexus, which is a large company that houses all of the information for all the legal cases in the country. They're a private company, so they should not have access to this data, but they do. Not only that, they also track all the data for all arrests in the country, so they can actually police agencies which subscribe to LexisNexis, because they all do, they can call them up, or they can send them a message through the system and say they want all the information on this particular individual. So once they do that, then they find all the other parties that might also be culpable with that individual. By doing that, what they do is they create a ring effect. It's actually like conspiracy. For those who don't know, if you ever charged with conspiracy, you will not win that case, because conspiracy is the only thing you cannot. You there's no way to prove that you didn't conspire, because if you had a thought, that's that's conspiracy.
Conspiracy.
So they got all these people all rounded up, right? In Michigan, they've been rounding up a bunch of Mexicans. Well, guess what happened? I don't like to talk about people bad luck, but
Acid.
somebody thought they were going to play a game. The police is the ones who thought they was going to play a game. So
Okay.
they showed up where these particular people was having a party, and it was quite a few people there, but it was like a kids party. So it really wasn't going to be that many adults. The adults are going to be in one place, and the kids are in the backyard playing and beating on the pinata or whatever. Well, when the police showed up and surrounded the whole block, guess who showed up and surrounded the police?
Who showed up and surrounded the police?
The people from Sonora. The cartels are hunting the cops.
So, because that's what I read an article where the cartel was going to the cops' house in Mexico.
Yeah, they go into their houses too. They
Mexico,
tracking them. They using prostitutes to catch them too. I like that part.
and they're killing off the police in Mexico. That's serious. How safe? How safe are our visitors really in Mexico?
Well, here's a question though. They
To
don't. The police don't know who these people are. A, because maybe they're not people that they know. Maybe they just temporary visitors. Maybe they people they ain't never encountered. Maybe they are people that never had a record. Maybe they are people who are not photographed by the U.S. government, because the Norteños and the Sureños, as I love to call them, they come from the north of Mexico, where the big drug cartels train their people at, and they train the police too, because the police in Mexico work for the cartels. You might think differently, but go to Mexico and see for yourself. I've already seen it. Now,
is
they are actually now using that same tactic in the United States. So they sending the trainers to the United States to teach them how to lure the police.
but that's some serious thing
They
for.
call it Taco Tuesday.
I'm not even gonna laugh at you. Um,
It's funny. It's funny. They set up a taco truck not long ago over a Mexican village, and they thought that the people running the taco truck was illegal because they didn't know them. They pulled up on the taco truck, and they was gonna try to do an INS raid. All of a sudden, the whole parking lot was full. Not only was the parking lot full, the whole block got full. Then the supermarket emptied out. It was about 1,000 people out there just standing out there, and the police are trapped up in the middle. Can't move, can't get out, can't do nothing
Okay, but
but eat a taco.
that's serious.
They gave them some tacos.
That's serious that they're going to police officers' homes and are killing.
No, it's serious that police think they can just do this and then they can just kidnap people and make people disappear. Because in Michigan, they've been doing that too. The police are taking contracts. So now we're talking about this new form of lynching. It's called kidnapping and using dogs. Okay, in Ypsilanti, Michigan, 2 weeks ago, a dog that was handled by the Michigan State Police, which they use military trained dogs, which we've already determined that's the wrong thing to do. You do not use military dogs in non military positions, which is why we do not dress police officers like military.
Mommy,
Okay?
let
If
me
you dress them like the military, they act like the military. And then you think that they are the military. That's why they don't need to have military uniforms or equipment. They're police. Okay? So they thought they were safe. They started filming them. So just like the police can go out and get information,
yeah.
somebody say El Chapo is paying for it.
I said I'm not laughing with you. I said I ain't
No, I'm laughing because they got a good funding. They got good funding. El Chapo money is clean. They
I'm
can't never get to it. His
I,
money is clean. It's in the bank.
you got the rope. Don't listen. Okay?
So these people that are doing this, that are like the dog that attacked this man up in Ypsilanti,
Uh-huh.
the dog was so unnerved about what it was doing that the dog stopped biting the man, even when the handler was still telling him to bite him, and the dog started licking the man's wounds.
Chirp, chirp, chirp. Who was
I
feeding?
think we need to go blah 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 blah.
Who was feeding?
Because when the dog stopped biting the man and was licking his wounds, the man and the dog are both looking at the cop, and the cop is still giving him an order to attack the man, and the dog is like, "No, I've already attacked him enough. The man is not doing anything." The man had a broken hip, was in a car accident, and was in his car waiting for some assistance. And instead of them assisting him, they showed up and dragged him out of the vehicle with a broken hip and threw him on the ground and then threw the dog on him. They tried to say he was still in the car, and
So,
then when they ran the plate,
so are we saying dog have more sense and feelings than humans?
hmm, hmm,
Medicare daughter says, "Whoa, uh-huh."
maybe they got more sense than white dog handlers.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Do they have more sense? Do they have more feelings? Do what that speaks to
That case really rocked everything because it meant that people could see what was happening. So they're suing the Michigan State Police for lynching and also for this violent attempted murder because that was attempted murder. The dog was only doing his part. It's the handler who's being sued, and right now the dog and the handler are both being retrained, and I think they're off the street. But the deal is that every police agency has dogs, and unless they're all retrained and the handlers are retrained to not attack black people just because of the color of our skin, we're going to still continue to see this. The pregnant woman who got lynched, who was literally lynched hanging from a tree that nobody is talking about.
there's a lot of lynching that no one is talking about that's been happening.
Wonder why. Is that critical race theory? Are they trying to shut down critical race theory because they don't want us to be critical about their racist tactics?
Mm. That's a
Hmm.
question. 706-955-2001 is the number. Or type it in. Is Are they?
Well, here's the question.
I would like any parent that is listening.
Notice that in Jamaica we don't see this.
I would like any parents that's listening. What do you all think about the critical race theory that they're trying to implement in the school system?
And
Um,
the white people are fighting against it. They've already started trying to make it illegal to tell the truth.
you see what I'm saying?
How can you make it illegal to tell the truth? How
So
can you make it illegal not to tell people about what you've done? The basis of wealth for America stems from black suffering, tears, and blood. There
but
is no economic wealth without black people building it. America wouldn't exist.
I don't think they want to inform our children on what is going on because they're afraid of the backlash down the road when they become older and they, activists and
What's that old saying from the Bible? You're going to reap what you sow.
okay. So I think that's why they don't want it because as adults, as us being adults now, and we watch certain shows, it brings up an anger in ourselves, subconsciously and consciously. You know, it brings the anger. So if they were to put such a curriculum out for our children to learn where they're coming from. See, back when we were younger, if it wasn't our parents told us something, it was roots. You know,
Or somebody in the family who
yeah.
knew about it because they were going to make sure you know.
And then when Alex Haley came up with roots, a lot started to come out because a lot of black persons wasn't necessarily reading because
Right.
there were books or whatever out, but a lot of black persons were reading. So once we went to media, it was in your face, you know, and it made melanated skinned persons more interested to research. So this
Hmm.
hands on, and I think that the battle is that they are unsure of the repercussions of what may come
I
from
don't think they're unsure. I think
it.
that's why they keep dressing up their slave catchers as slave catchers.
It's a serious thing. This critical race theory.
These are some serious times.
We got to leave out with that song.
Do
But
we
yeah,
have to pay for that?
yeah,
We should just get I Wayne to do us a version.
yeah. That too. It's
We
fine.
could do that.
It's
We know I
fine.
Wayne.
It's fine.
We know a lot of people.
But it's a serious thing. This critical race theory.
Wait,
And,
wait.
and
Before we get to the other side of it, talk about what it is that really is driving this and why they don't want it to get out to the rest of the world. Because in Jamaica, they've been teaching it for a while. Most people don't realize that in the Caribbean, they teach the real history. They teach you who
that's
held people,
your
who
heritage.
people who were people held by, and they teach you who was in charge of the colonialist system. They make sure you know because they show you that flag.
Mhm. So why don't you think America and a lot of the European world do not want such a curriculum to be taught?
I'm so glad you asked me that question. I could just barely contain myself now. All right, I've had this discussion with people from all over the world, lots of white people, lots of white people. And
Oh,
recently I've been confining my positions to some people from Scotland. And the reason for that is because the Scottish are sort of like
Mars says true.
they like the black people of Europe. Everybody hates the Scottish because the Scottish will whoop on that body. They will whoop on that body. We cannot forget when we've all seen Braveheart and we know all these other movies where the
Yeah.
Scottish just don't take it like that. So when the Scottish came to America, they got left alone because they were not going to be like the Irish. They call the Irish a whole bunch of names because the Irish want to fit in. The Irish have predominantly wanted to be white. And I'm saying that in order to clarify something. The Scottish don't say they're white. They say we're Scottish. And the
Scottish.
reason they don't say they're white is
Yeah.
because they don't believe that that is a good thing. They believe that racism is a bad thing. They don't like it at all. The Scottish, they
By
anti-racist way over what we are. They will shut you down. Look, I've had a Scottish person tell me, "Look, you need to rethink that."
yeah.
And they were right. And when I thought about it, I was glad they corrected me because you know what? Sometimes we need to be taught from those who have lived outside our system, from what they see that we can't see. And I'm grateful for that. My friend in France was telling me about these kids that got thrown off the bus the other day because they had on burqas, and one of them had on a niqab, which is the veil that covers your full face.
Mhm.
In France, that's illegal if you go into school now. So when they come out of the school, they have to then redress and put on, first they put on their hijab, and then they got to put on the niqab, and then they got to put on the full burqa over that. So they wear them 4 layers because they don't want you to see them, because it's part of their modesty. We should not ignore that their modesty should be respected. We have no right to take that away from them. Nobody ain't walking up snatching off none of them shekels from my sisters. Because I tell you what, if I go out there with a shekel on and somebody walk up, grab it if you want to. I promise you, you're going to be wearing it.
Okay.
The thing that's bad about this is that critical race theory is being outlawed because they don't want you to know about the Tulsa Race Massacre. They don't want you to know about the Memphis Massacre that happened 2 years post emancipation. They don't even want you to celebrate Juneteenth. They
Right.
won't declare Juneteenth a national holiday, but they got Confederate holidays.
I think anything having to do with melanated skin people, it's not recognized besides Black History Month.
Well, wait a minute.
How
Martin Luther King birthday, remember what we had to go through to get that passed as a national holiday?
it was a big hoopla to get that passed. So yeah, excuse me with that. And okay, we have Kamar says I watched the one on CNN Monday night.
It was excellent. I didn't watch it on CNN. I watched it on a different source, but it was excellent. And I would suggest that all of our listeners and watchers please watch the Underground Railroad, the new one that is on Prime.
I watched my son and myself watched the entire series from season 1 to season 10 and
Episode. It's
episodes.
season episode 1 and 2 was the hardest, wasn't it?
Sorry. And I mean, we stayed up to 6 o'clock the morning watching it, you
You
know,
shouldn't binge watch it though.
and things like that is what, although I know some of it was, a lot of things were created into it, but for a situation like that, is what they don't want our children to grow up knowing and feeling. You know what I mean?
The
So
truth of America.
the truth of America. So in a lot of ways, it's up to our melanated skin parents, elders, to make
Brothers and sisters, cousins, aunties, grandmothers.
sure that we teach it in our homes. And that was when we went to school. We didn't really we not really we didn't hear anything much about any of any of the stories. You know what I'm saying? So it's important for us to make sure that we share these things with our children. You know, and then what age is appropriate for that?
A
What age
question.
is
Here's
appropriate?
the I want to attack that head on
Okay,
from my schooling.
wait on that. Don Minot says it is our duty as a people to our children and grandchildren our history. Don't expect our oppressors to teach Black history. Exactly.
Exactly, Don Minot. Big up.
Exactly.
So what I was going to say is that right now is the most important time for us to teach our kids because they have been under our control for a year now. They're not they're not outside. So we know what they're doing and we know what they're thinking. We've had control over for a year. So we need to make sure that year was productive. The other thing is this. Instead of you buying your kid just a regular comic book, why don't you buy them a Black History comic book? Why don't you think about, instead of taking your kid to the zoo, take your kid on a trip to the closest Underground Railroad site?
Mhm. Museum.
When you want to teach your kids about money and about how the American economy works, one of the things you could do is discuss the disparities in racial uh, payrolls. Okay, we could talk about how white men make $1, but black women make 80 cents,
Okay.
or black men make 80 cents, black women make 73 cents.
Okay. Am I loud now? Because I'm getting a couple of emails and texts and everything that I'm not loud. Am I a little better now? I'm hoping
You're a
so.
little better.
All right,
Yeah.
good. Maybe I turned it up a little bit more here.
There
So,
you go.
yeah. So you hear me good now? All righty. Go ahead. Ask it.
So when we take control of our lives, we need to take control of it in all aspects. That means we need to lay it out. We need to get these kids to understand that it doesn't just happen. We have to plan it. We have to give them the incentive to understand that what they are doing now is the basis for what they will be doing in the future. White people, I have learned, teach their children differently than black people. What
Okay.
I have learned about white people teaching their children early is that they go out and they make those kids understand that they are going to have to take care of themselves. That's the first thing.
Thank you, Kumar. Mhm. Go ahead.
Second thing is this: they explain to them that they are in charge of their future and that they are the ones who are going to make their future happen. So if they don't do it, it won't happen. If you
Yeah.
want a house with a swimming pool, you better get a job that will support that lifestyle. And that doesn't mean a job, that means a career. That
Oh,
means you need to do something that you will enjoy so that you will continue to do it for
yeah.
your lifetime.
Yes.
People should not have to go back to school and be retrained, 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 retrained. That is slavery. That is what I have experienced as a worker and also as a professional. Why do I have to have so many degrees in so many different areas, but I'm still not able to get the same dollar as a white man who just graduated from high school and I got a 4 year college degree? That's what most people going into fast food are facing right now. I found that out by talking to someone who's a manager of a McDonald's around the corner from me, who said they cannot get workers to stay. And I asked him what the pay was, and he told me 13.75. And I said, well, do you think people are going to continue to work for 13.75 if they can find a job at Lowe's where they can make 15 an hour and they can get benefits like medical and dental and possibly tuition assistance? And he said, we can't pay that. And then I pointed out to him how much their CEO was making and how much it costs each one of their franchisees each month, because I got access to that data. Now, Byron Allen, we spoke about this last week, is suing McDonald's. Why? McDonald's think they could charge him double what they charge some white people for commercials.
Okay. Well, we did discuss that
Do they
last.
not know Byron Allen owns the Weather Channel?
Also with housing, we talked about that. You know, it's
Yeah,
it's most definitely a big disadvantage for melanated people.
generational wealth.
Yeah.
You can't establish it if you don't have a basis and a foundation for it. Most white people end up sending that house through the family 3 or 4 generations. Most black people never own a house, so we don't have anything to give back. We don't have anything to leverage in order to build credit. We don't have credit in order to build a lifestyle. It's all about how you start your foundation. And I do think that we should do some foundational discussions about this because we need to talk about generational wealth. And one of the things that I've been, I guess, holding back on is the fact that I really think there's a plan out there for each one of us. And one of the things we need to do is we need to look at who is in charge of our money. And right now, Joe Biden is doing crazy things. I am not a big fan of Joe Biden. I was forced to vote for him. A lot of us were. And then the other problem is that that's right. That is
Doc,
exactly right, Don Minot.
mine it says Marcus Garvey. It is by education that we become prepared for our duties and responsibilities in life. If one is badly educated, he must naturally fail in the proper assumption and practice of his duties and responsibilities because the Negro has been badly educated. That's
That's exactly right.
us. And then Sybil says, I heard that the river and lake is open back up in Jamaica. What about the curfew? Okay.
That's something we really need to talk about, how these curfews are used, because we were talking about this and we're talking about how the curfews are being dismissed in America with COVID. You can go out in most places now and find people not wearing masks.
Yeah,
You find me? You're
we're gonna
finding a mask.
we're gonna hit that in just a millimeter second. We're gonna hit that one as to the mask and what is going on really with nowhere
With the
near.
global curfews, because
Yeah,
it's a global curfew issue now.
and they're telling you about um who have who has the shot don't have to wear a mask, but yet, I mean, it's a crazy, crazy thing. Carla, if you could call back, I did miss that call. I didn't get notification. But I missed a couple of calls. I said I do apologize, but I didn't get
Sorry, callers.
I didn't get a notification. But before we move on to this with the curfew, even with Jamaica, the whole COVID thing of what is going on here in America and about the educating hour, I just wanted to piggyback one time off of what Don Minot says as to
Yes.
education of our children. We know because all of us, a lot of us have been schooled here in America, and we know what the curriculum is. A lot of us as parents now has raised children where we know what the curriculum has been for even them. So therefore, we as melanated skinned people need to educate our children on what we need to educate our children on and stop leaving it into the system's hand, because not only if the system was supposed to try to educate our children on these things, they're not going to educate them correctly. And that is why there's a pushback, even with the critical race theory, is because they don't know how to tactfully do it. So therefore, they have a problem with it being given rawly, given in the
They
raw.
angry about their garbage.
See what I'm saying? All righty. So I just wanted to piggyback and say that it's our duty.
That's it.
It is fully our duties to teach our children the history of our ancestors, even our lives, even
That's
our
right.
and things that we have faced in our lives as well. Carla, you are live on the air. How you doing, Carla? Hello?
Hello, caller.
Hello, Carla. You live on the air. All
I
right.
think the caller just wanted to hear us.
Yeah, they're on the line. But um
Come on, caller, say something. We won't talk to ya.
but that's how I feel as far as the education for our young ones. It is in our hands for us to make sure that they are properly educated and that they
And
are
directed and channeled. That's why we
exactly,
talk about them kids on Tuesday night.
because you just
Them
can't
kids on Tuesday night are doing that.
give them the information just like that. Yes, but and when you are giving them the information, you have to coach them in the right way because anger, as we as adults listen and face a lot of these things, we get angry. So imagine a child. So the way how we feed them this information is important as well, for us parents, teachers, educators, um, to teach the children. Okay, so we're gonna move on to what Sybil has said is I heard that the river and lake is open back. And unless there's any more comments in regards to that, if there is, always feel free to call in. It's an open forum. You can call in anytime you choose 706-955-2001. And I'm going to pay attention to the board
They
because
trying to make me do Holla Man.
I didn't see the board just now. I wasn't paying attention because I was all into this. But okay, I heard that the river and lake is open back up in Jamaica. What about the curfew? And then Sybil says, my daughter was going to the Bahamas next week, booked her flight and everything, and they told her that she cannot enter without a Cobra shot. Hold on. John says, why don't more parents encourage their children to attend HBCUs?
I like that.
I like that question too. And real quick to piggyback off of the HBU, a lot of parents, I think, get scared because when you go to a lot of these
It's more expensive too.
HBCUs school, not only is it expensive, but they're in the worst neighborhoods.
Yeah.
They're in the worst neighborhoods, and a lot of parents are afraid for their child's safety in those neighborhoods. It's, they're trying to get them out of there. They don't want to keep them in there. So a lot of parents are afraid to have their children to attend the HBCU universities, which that is something that we need to push. But I don't know, Acid, and that's a good question, Don. Acid, did you want to touch that question or?
Yeah, about the HBCUs, definitely. When I was trying to get money to go to school, there was no money from the HBCUs. Unfortunately, all the money that I got from foundations and schools, all of it, scholarships, all came directly from white organizations, and I went to state schools. I went to Michigan State, University of Michigan, and the State University in New York. All three of them are state schools, and they offer good education, but they are definitely not in favor of black education. Okay, they're not going to push anything to do with black education. So I started in STEM, and I've almost completely had almost all STEM education: science, technology, engineering, and math. Those are my favorites. But at the end, I realized my failure was that I did not take anything that would allow me to give back. Now that sounds crazy after everything that I've learned. Now I'm gardening and I'm teaching other people how to do intensive gardening, and I'm giving back from the science part of it. I get back from the math because if people call me and they want help trying to figure out something financially, I'm always willing to sit and try and help you figure a way. You know, technology is something that we all have access to, and we all have to decide how we're going to use it. The first technology institutes in this country were all for black people. You got Florida A&M, agricultural and mechanical. Okay, we could go all across the whole country and talk about all these agricultural and mechanical schools. Even Texas. Your brother went to school in Texas at Texas A&M, right? So he went to an agricultural and mechanical school because they funded them so that black people can go to these schools in order to try to become professional in these areas. They didn't want us in business. They didn't want us in education. They wanted us in agriculture and mechanics. And we know why. So they didn't give us degrees in being architects. They didn't care about the fact that we built the pyramids without using any heavy equipment. They didn't care about the fact that we understand how to reconstruct our own country. Look at what Jamaica has had to do for itself after all these hurricanes. Jamaica's developed systems that are now being used in other countries specifically for hurricane repair. In case people don't know, the very first hurricane category 5 housing is built in Jamaica and Puerto Rico. The reason for it is because they used hempcrete. They used it because they knew that it would work, and they knew that if they tested it, it would be the best way to be able to stop importing so much foreign cement. Now, another thing, these technologies are indigenous technologies. They don't want to spread indigenous technologies because they feel that indigenous technologies would disable their financial ability to control us as a population. Because if you ever notice, and I'm going to go right on back into it because we've been talking about it, appropriation comes from us. That's why we're talking about people like the Kardashians and how they come and steal our looks, how they want to be black but not black. Okay, these are things that really matter. And black women are, and I'm going to go ahead and say it, we're the queens of the earth. It doesn't matter who else wants to measure, they are measuring themselves against us always. First, because we are the first DNA on the planet, we're Lucy. Okay? We ain't got to dispute that. Lucy came from the Olduvai Gorge in Kenya. That's the Rift Valley. That's Africa. What we gonna do about that? We gonna pretend like that's not where black people originated on this planet, And then we're not going to try and figure out where the other people came from because, we already had this discussion, and I still believe that they came out the Caucasus Mountains because that's the only place that we've been able to find their DNA on this planet, that original DNA. And I'm talking about the original DNA. I learned all this after I learned all the science, technology, engineering, and math. I had to go to the Vatican to find out where white people came from.
And I love that story. But Kamar says true talk, and Sandra Brown, big up. I feel that we need to teach the children how to understand racism in a calm way, and that's exactly what I was saying. How it's going to be taught.
Right.
Teach them not to lash out with violence. Instead, treat it with kindliness.
Not kindness. We don't need to treat it with kindness. What we need to do is treat it with understanding. So if someone walks up to you and they act a fool, you don't act a fool. And here's a bit of advice. It's real simple. In every conversation, there's two people usually, a 7-year old and a 4-year old. You can choose to be the 7-year old or the 4-year old. Me, I'm gonna be the 7-year old. So if you start falling down, kicking, hollering, screaming, I'm just gonna stand back and watch you because I don't want you getting dirt on my clothes.
Okay. All right. All
And when
right.
you're ready to get up, I'll help you get up and I'll help you figure out what it is you need to do because, quite honestly, your skills are not at the level where you can get past that stress. That's what I was talking about me throwing up. I had 6 months worth of stress in my body that was all about finances because the state was holding up money that I was owed. They didn't want to give it to me until I literally forced them to. And that's not how things should work. When you do your part, you should get back what it is that you've done your part to get. So don't ever in a deal think that people are going to hold up their end. You always hold up your end and make sure that you're watching what they're doing on their end so that if they don't hold up their end, you can back out before it becomes catastrophic to you. Never be the fall guy.
Never be the fall guy.
Stand up and walk away.
All right. It is 8:25. We're gonna just take a quick um sponsorship break, and we're gonna come back with the question that Sybil had as to the Cobra shot. If we can find out anything about that. And
The Bahamas, man,
yeah,
they want to keep people in that British
we're
crap.
gonna get back to that. We're just gonna take a quick, a real quick station break and sponsorship break. You're in tune to the Powerhouse Radio, linking the world to the Caribbean.
The Hinkson Firm's mission is to provide superior legal service in the areas of family law, child welfare law, general legal services, and mediation by keeping convenience of the clients at the forefront. The Hinkson Firm's goal is to eliminate the stress of an already intense situation in your life by coming directly to your workplace and or a location close to your home for consultation, meetings, and mediation. The Hinkson firm customized legal attention based on the needs of each client while treating every client with the dignity and respect they deserve, while fighting strongly and fiercely for justice and their legal rights. The Hinkson firm can be reached at 470 499 4704. One by One Kia full range of products embodies fundamental nutrients necessary to maintain beautiful and healthy hair care without having to combine an assortment of hair care products. The One by One Kia products are designed to rejuvenate, moisturize, create shine, fortify, and stimulate hair growth while leaving your hair feeling weightless and luxurious. Be sure to visit our website at www.onebywmkaya.com and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at One by One Kia. Let's get your healthy hair care journey started today.
Yes, we are. We are definitely back. We are definitely back, and we want to say big ups to all of our sponsors. One by One Kia. We want to say big ups to the Hinkson law firm. Big ups to Honey Child's Kitchen. want to say big shout outs to Unique Total Care, to Mystique Enterprise and Mystique Judah. We want to say big ups to all of our partnering radio stations. And we want to say big ups to you all, our listeners, who has it locked in right here on the Powerhouse Radio. Once again, don't forget the fantabulous programmings that occur right here on the Powerhouse Radio. Each and every Thursdays, you have us, the Reasoning Thursdays, 7 to 9 p.m. with
Oh, she said it, y'all.
Lady D and Mama Acid to 8 p.m. Lady D and Mama Acid. And then on Saturdays, be sure to check out the Bishop Blair Gospel Explosion from 8 to 10. And be sure to check myself out, Lady D, on Saturdays from 12 to 4 p.m. Next week, Saturday, we're going to be interviewing Lady Ann, the legendary DJ, Lady Ann, the informant of the area murderer. Yeah, she's going to be joining us next week. This week, we just vibes in. And on Sundays, be sure to listen to our morning gospel explosions. And at 6 p.m., do be sure to listen to Medicure Daughter with I Am Meta. And
Yes.
6 to 7, and that's about health, your spiritual and mental health. So make and awareness. So make sure that you check her out from 6 to 7. Then the big show, all about love, nothing but love. You don't want to miss it. With Blossom, Cool G, Lady D. And if you want to send a request, just send it to
And Blasu.
radio@gmail.com or just call in during the show. We take requests. And then on Tuesdays, you have the Kids Way. Check out the Kids Way each and every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. Some intelligent young children and all 11
Some
years
pre-millionaires.
their own mind and their own views on things. It's very enlightening to check them out. Check them out. And on Wednesdays, we have the gripe. You got to tune in and check out the gripe with and the last and only man standing, Marcus, on a Wednesday night from 7
Oh God.
p.m. So if you want to gripe, check them out. Real quick, we have Sandra Brown said, "What is the panel opinion about looking into the Black Wall Street killing?" And
We already know they didn't kill all these people and they got mass graves all over the place and they don't want them dug up
so
because they don't want to go back through the history of the reality of what white hate is. That's critical race theory. They are afraid that we are going to be too critical of their racism and their actions.
yeah,
Their theory is correct.
yeah. So I don't think there will be a pan. I don't think there will be an investigation into it. All they're saying and all the only conclusion that they came up with is that's a white mob or white individuals decided and that was the outcome of it. And that's where they've left it. And in order to even look
Joe
into
Biden apologized.
yeah, but in order for them to look even into that killing, then I think is going to lead them to have to really look into reparations.
They already got the 30 million. Actually, they got 50 million and they won't give it to the survivors. That's why they put the governor off the panel.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I was waiting for you to give me that.
Okay. All righty. Okay. Now I know that
But I still want to say something about Mike Pence pants.
what?
Mike Pence pants.
Sybil asked about Cobra Shop. Okay. Sybil asked about Cobra Shop. Sandra says exactly. Sybil, I'm not talking about Mike Pence's pants. Okay. So, I mean, let's. Sybil says, "What is the Cobra shot?" Because I don't know what that is, and I know you've gotten all sorts of shots.
Okay, so she's talking about why the Bahamas wants a vaccination certificate. And the deal is this: a lot of states are not giving you a vaccination passport. So you could actually have gotten a shot and not have anything other than the shot. They give you an appointment card for when you have your two shots because most people are getting the two or the one if you got the Johnson and Johnson. The deal is some countries are thinking they could be. able to just, I guess, force people to have the vaccination before they come, but that's not going to work because there's no way to enforce it. There's no way to make people tell you who had it. Big up Bishop Blair. I think a lot of people don't understand that this is not something that they can control. They can't. How you gonna tell if I had a shot? Do you know if Lady D had a shot? We could tell you that we both had COVID.
I want to say big up to my brother from another mother,
That's
which
right, Bishop Blair.
is so ironic that he said goodnight to us because we just mentioned him on his fantabulous
We
morning
talked him up.
on Saturdays from 8 to 10 a.m. So big up yourself, Bishop. Check him out on Saturdays.
Yeah, if you need to get some prayer, they'll pray with you. I love that.
What was you saying?
One of the problems with them not wanting people to know who does and does not have the vaccine is because then they would have to then start looking at all the variants. Now, dig this. The other day, we found out Puerto Rico is making all of the reagents that they can't get from Asia. They need this reagent in order to produce the vaccine, and that was part of the problem was that they weren't able to get the reagents. So suddenly, Merck in Puerto Rico is producing reagents.
Mm.
So the question is this: how much of that money is going to go towards Puerto Rico's debt, Merck? Since y'all got this big tax-free deal going down, and y'all making all the vaccine and shipping it other places,
Mhm.
are y'all giving Puerto Rican people even a fish for taking the vaccine?
What about America doing some big things with having people to take the vaccine, which that makes me
The
those.
$1 million?
Alrighty, I'm not sure. I keep missing this call caller. I miss um give me I'm not getting my notifications. So I'm missing your calls and I do apologize. I'm going to pay attention to the board as I'm looking at ASID. I'm going to be cross-eyed like you know
She
that
got she got everything in front of her, y'all. Y'all just don't know. She's looking at a panel of about 8 things in front of her right now.
I have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven screens in the studio that I'm looking at. But go ahead and try back. Okay.
When these people want you to take the vaccine, they're not telling you if they've taken it.
You think so?
Okay, here's my question. Why would they want you to take the vaccine if you get COVID? The
Why
vaccine is not going to help.
why Giuliani has not taken the vaccine?
Well,
Did
why
I
is this?
ask the
Why his son not taking it? And
did
he running for office. He running for mayor.
did
Oh, he running for governor, ain't he?
I think this and once again everyone to their own decision and what they choose to do for them.
Lady D, don't forget to
Like I
mention that this
said,
is an experiment.
I don't know what is all of this raffling of persons' lives and persons' arm and an injection. You know, there are a lot of other things out there that I feel that is killing people that needs a lot of attention
Racism.
and yeah, that's on the top. You know, but the agenda, I'm trying to understand the agenda and I'm not understanding what is being said.
They
What is
started that. The Bahamas and several other countries in the Caribbean started that after England did it. They're trying to model themselves after the English. Why?
why?
Can I say it?
Yeah, why?
They want to be whiter than the driven snow.
They want to be who? Don't say it.
Whiter than the driven snow.
Okay,
Y'all will not hear me singing gospel.
okay.
They want to be whiter than the driven snow. Now, we in a lot of cases don't understand what that means. It's from an old gospel song. It's just old spiritual. It's reinforcing that whiter than the driven snow. It means that you are cleaner and more worthy
Hmm.
because you are on top.
Sandra Brown says, why is some of the Senate's also fighting against the vaccine, but aren't speaking up on public about it?
Jim Jordan. Wait a minute, Miss Green.
My thing is, I just don't like the sale of everything. I just don't like the way they're auctioning things off. And if something is so good,
People, go ahead and say it, Lady D. They auctioning off persons.
persons, I don't, because, all right, I'm trying to understand. And for listeners, the line, I am paying attention to the board. So my what I can't understand about this entire thing is that, okay, if you have not, if you have been vaccinated before you were told to still wear your mask, then once the vaccination rate has gone down, less person being vaccinated, then all of a sudden all of these things start flying out. You cannot wear a mask in crowd. You can do this, but yet you are still susceptible to getting COVID. So what logical person would tell you not to wear a mask in public when you still can get it? I'm not understanding, because this vaccine doesn't immune you to not being able to get it. And I think that is where the mixed messages are coming about, because people are really, really feeling that if they get vaccinated, they are immune.
You are not.
The same, anyone who has had COVID, the same antibodies that are in your body, it is alleged by
No, it's not alleged. They've already proven it. The monoclonal antibodies are there.
you have the same exact antibodies in your body as the as the
As from taking the vaccine. And the
okay,
vaccine, it doesn't last as long as the antibodies that you make in your body, because the University of Michigan just produced a report that said that your own antibodies can be detected 3 to 6 months after you've had COVID, but after 3 weeks of having the shot, those antibodies don't show up in your bloodstream on a test.
acid.
So
I
they can't tell.
I just figured out some of what's going on here. I've been receiving a couple of texts, because this is the, it says tactics they are using anyone or things to reach their goal. Some folks have allergies. This is bogus. What about the people who can't have the shots? And then education is the key. And this is coming from Queen. All of these messages. Education is the key. If it wasn't introduced to you, how can you build this wealth? And also, it says stars, singers, oh, tactics they are using anyone or things to reach their goals. Stars, singers, rappers, etc. Which is and thank you for that, Queen. Big up. I'm learning all these new things up in here. And then Don Minot says, the vaccine is to prevent you being hospitalized or dying. It does not prevent you from getting the virus. Correct. And that is what my question is. And it doesn't stop you from being hospitalized
Or dying.
or dying, because there are people that have these vaccines that are still being hospitalized and have died.
My Albanian friend's still in the hospital.
Fully
She's been
vaccinated.
in the hospital for 3 months.
So I think that the and this is evident to even what Don is saying, because of what is said that it prevents you from being hospitalized or dying. Persons really feel that, which it actually is not true. Why aren't they telling people how to increase their alkaline consumption? Comes from Sandra Brown's question. But what I was saying um, before I realized some messages was coming through on our telephone lines. Um, you have the same antibodies in your system when you have gotten COVID that are in these that are in these this vaccine. I'm getting messages everywhere that are
I just got one too. I just discontinued it on my phone. I shut it down.
that
People
are
listening trying to send me a message from Paris. I'm sorry. I'll get back with you, Fabienne.
that are in these vaccines. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand why it's a do or don't thing. I don't and we I don't think we ever answered Sybil's question as to the Cobra shot. What is it?
That's it. She's talking about the COVID vaccine. So it's because Great Britain said that, and I'm stop saying Great Britain because England said it, and England wanted people to be vaccinated before they came to England. Now dig this. England is reopening its borders and you don't have to be vaccinated to come in. Canada's reopening next week. And you don't have to be vaccinated to go to Canada either. So I'm thinking about week after next going to Canada.
And then again, I feel like they're trickling things down to the small business people or the large business people to make these decisions, because now they're not going, a lot of places may not require you to come into their country vaccinated or tested, but
That's
now
right.
these airlines, a lot of airlines and other ways to travel, the ships, all of them seems to want everyone to be vaccinated.
But they can't force you to.
They can't force you to, but you can't get on their ships without being vaccinated.
No, that's not true. That's not true. Here's the deal.
All
You
right.
can fly. You can take a cruise. You could do all of that. The deal is this. You have to use protocols. That means you have to wear your mask all the time. You always got to keep washing your hands and you got to keep checking your temperature because you don't know who else.
But acid, that is something that they were trying to. That's why
Yeah, but they said no. They said they're not going to allow it. And I'm going to tell you
why
two reasons why.
because the governor, one of the governor of Florida was
Right. DeSantis said no.
right. Okay, he said no. So, but that is
The
something.
CDC said no too.
That's something that they are trying to implement, and
The
it
CDC said no, it's not possible because all viruses travel airborne and you cannot stop people from traveling because of viruses that are airborne. If that was the case, people wouldn't be able to travel because of herpes
then that brings me right back to my question: why are you telling people not to wear masks?
because they want people
Them,
dead.
giving them that self of confidence that it is okay. So, are we really okay anyway? Are we really, really okay anyway? Do we really need this? That you are telling us that only 40% of people have been vaccinated, but you're telling them that they can walk around without masks. We got a message online says from Queen said Bill Gates and others have an agenda. We also have Brianna Graham saying I support vaccination
Hey, Bree.
because they work, but I understand people hesitancy. And then she says that is true. And then she also says no, I guess, to one of our um,
She's talking to me. That's one of our followers from Tumblr.
oh, big up
Um,
Tumblr.
Yeah, what she's talking about is the fact that there's too much misinformation, and
That's
she
it.
really feels that everyone should take the vaccine because it would prevent more people from being misinformed. Now, that's people who want to take the vaccine. We can't tell people not to take the vaccine if they want to. That's on them. But there are many people who will not be taking it. Let me tell you that, in case y'all don't know, 75% of Orthodox Jews in America will not take the vaccine. They have already said they will not take it. In Israel, there's a special category for
Well,
exemption for the people who are Haredi. That's what they are called, the Haredi. They will not take it. And they are not stopping them from doing anything. They just telling them they got to follow the protocols.
and Queen says, and will spend as much money needed to reach his goal, whatever they are planning for the masses. And I wanted to address Brianna Graham, that's chimed in and feel
That's
like
Trini Linda.
and
Her
feel
name
like
is Brianna Graham, but that's Trini Linda. Call her Trini Linda.
Trini Linda says, and exactly, people don't have to get the vaccine. Just stay safe and protect others by wearing a mask. And that's
Right.
what I'm saying. The mandate of them wanting to force people to be vaccinated and giving out college scholarships and all of these scholarships to
What
be
about the $1 million?
vaccinated. And there are so many other diseases and other areas that we need those funds. Wear your mask because vaccinated or not, COVID may knock at your door.
It may
That
not just be COVID, it's other things too. The flu,
and I think that has to and it should be. I think it should be honest.
a
I
safety
think
protocol.
I think it's something that our government and our people should be honest about and say, listen, you know, everybody just wear your mask because we really don't know what this vaccine really is doing. We don't because every day there's something different. Every day there's a new strain. And every day this vaccine may not work against the new strain. And there's
Exactly.
always so many different and then the vaccine only works for 6 months. Oh, possibly 3 months. And
No,
then
3 months. You got to get every 3 months.
it's always something. So why don't you all say wear a mask wherever you all are at? That may become our new norm of living when we are out in public. Now, my other question to it is so many people, correct me, acid, they say like 60% of people did is not vaccinated.
Right.
They're saying 40% of people is vaccinated. Yet all of this COVID is going down.
But guess who they not counting?
And the etc. So it's only the 40% of people that's not dying and not you still have 60% of people out there that do not have and have not gotten this vaccine, but they're still living and they're still surviving. On our line, it says what we are the average people does not know what it is being planned. Brianna says, I agree. Mass should be normal in American society because air pollution is also a thing in different areas. The flu and other air circulated viruses can be prevented and eased by wearing a mask.
Exactly.
And that is what my issue is with the government is because they're saying you don't have to wear a mask. Yet they cannot guarantee to you that you will not get COVID
That's right.
because they never said you won't get COVID. Is that what they did? Anyone hear they say you won't get COVID? It is
They
absolutely
never said that.
that you won't get it if you
We
are
need to ask Don Minot that question.
okay. I think Don may still be on Don. And then we've got another one says Civic just popped up. We are the average people. Civic just popped up one day. Oh, COVID just popped up one day. It was another response.
COVID has been here all the time. They just discovered it and gave it a name. Okay, now, Don,
Experience.
I
Okay.
really want to know how Don feels about this because it's kind of important to me. I really care a lot about Don, and his voice is so precious. And to think that Don would be having to take this live virus every 3 months, possibly endangering his own immune system. I'm wondering, how do you make that sort of a lifelong choice that every 3 months you're going to reinfect yourself with something that is already under control? Suppose we had to do that for the polio vaccine or some of the other ones, measles, mumps, rubella, every 3 months, we had to go back and get all these different vaccines. Nope, not going to do it.
I
I
would.
had measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine, and I still had measles, mumps, and chickenpox. I had all three of them, even though I had the vaccine. So what happened? Okay, why do they give you the vaccine even if you've had it? What's the point? A lady in India, I read this. It surprised me quite a bit. She said the majority of what we do health wise in our lives is because someone else tells us to do it rather than us listening to our own bodies.
Okay.
That's why I wanted to say to you, Lady D, you've been a great inspiration to me. A
Um,
great inspiration to me, honey.
we have here another comment for their people when it's overpopulated, so they have to get rid of some of us.
That's
It,
exactly why they doing it. They
it's a
testing us to see who's weak and who's strong. And if you're not strong, you gonna check out.
Okay, it said it's a plan. Don't know why it's hard for countries to provide for their people when it's overpopulated. So if they have to get rid of us, well, we already we said that before.
You know what we didn't touch?
What?
Bill Gates just became the largest owner of agricultural farmland on the planet.
What he's doing? He's gone agricultural now.
Maybe he gonna put it in the food. Berkshire Hathaway isn't invested in any food products.
Things that makes you go
Hmm.
Things that makes you go hmm.
We wondering why they want us to take this, but let's ask who else is taking it. Has Bill Gates taken it?
Have we seen it? Have we
They're not
seen?
gonna let us see it. And then the other part of that bothers me most is the other day we're watching the Senate and Jim Jordan actually watching Congress, and Jim Jordan is badgering Dr. Fauci about when America will be able to not have to wear masks.
I don't. Go ahead.
He said, "Is it 50%? Is it 40%? When is it? When? When? When?" He kept saying it, right? He pissed off Jim Clyburn, and Jim Clyburn told him, "You need to hold that. We're gonna handle that later." When
Right.
he wouldn't stop badgering Dr. Fauci just looked at him like this.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say a word. Then Auntie Maxine jumped right on in and she let him know, "Excuse me, this is my committee. Shut your mouth."
Fauci, in the beginning, I was going off of a lot of what Fauci saying, as well as reading my own researching for myself. But when Fauci, sometimes he flip flops. He's
Because of his cash.
he's invested.
Very big investment. In fact, he owns one of the patents for the reagent.
The Moderna. He's alrighty.
And they're the only ones that have applied this week to get federal approval, and they're not doing emergency approval. They want to get real approval because they want to be the ones that the doctors go to first. So if they get that from the CDC, that sounds to me like Dr. Fauci stirring up too many pots up in too many kitchens.
Okay. It's
I'm
it's
not with that. I
it's
don't see why they would allow someone to own part of a medical process that could determine the ability of life to be sustained on this planet. That bothers me. But the worst part of that is that if you are the expert, you should not be financially invested in any of that process because it taints it 100% across the board. That's why I don't trust it.
that's a
I
conflict.
like Dr. Fauci. He could come to my house for dinner,
That's
but
a
he's showing giving those shots up in here.
that's a conflict of interest.
Too
He
big of a conflict.
he should not be involved. Don Minus says CT reports no new COVID deaths for the first time in months.
Okay, that's Connecticut, right? I'm in Michigan. We already even had 150 for this week.
Well, we've had none because I saw where it came where Gwinnett was zero, decab was zero, this was zero, that a lot of these things were zero. Brianna says
She's
LMFAOO.
laughing because she's telling you that it's bullshit.
I know. Then
We
she,
know, Linda.
Brown said, well, I know some doctors whom advise me not to take the vaccine. You have you have it on both ends because you have doctors who are going with the norm, and you have doctors who are saying, okay, enough is enough. Now, I personally, as Sandra Brown says she knows, I personally know a doctor that says that I've already had COVID, so I don't need to get the shot. And that's a physician saying that
My
they
immunologist said that to me too.
don't need to get it because they've already had the shot. And it was just a question that randomly was asked.
And
So
you notice they tell you that after you've had COVID and you go see them and they know you've had it and you've survived and they know you're healthy. And then they just say to you, well, if you don't want to, you don't have to. You don't need it. You already had it. So just keep
Brianna
taking the protocols. I've got my vitamin D and my probiotics and the rest of my vitamins on point every day. They in the little case and ain't nobody tricking me. I'm sorry.
Brianna
I
says
already know.
big old BS. And I want to say once again, I'm not, and we're not here to preach for or against.
Mm-mm.
Each person has to do and needs to do what is good for themselves. Whatever makes you feel comfortable in your space when you're going out or coming in, that is your decision. I'm not badgering anyone. I just say to each and every listener, do your researches. Don't sit
Due
and
diligence.
just take what is thrown at you. Don't take everything at face value. There, we had this discussion the other day when they stopped um the J&J vaccine, the Johnson and Johnson vaccine, and someone was just down on me. Oh, they stopped it because 5 people. I said, do you think the government is really going to stop something for five five people?
It's hundreds of people in Michigan up here that are in the hospital now because of it.
Persons that are affected, they're not giving you all of the statistics. Okay. Now, once again, just think for yourself and think, you know, it's like a matrix. When you get unplugged, some of us is still plugged and some of us are unplugged. Or some of us is have the plug at the socket waiting to push it in, you know. And Mama Esther was there at one time when Mama Esther said, well, Lady D, I'm going to get my vaccine on Saturday. And I said, fine. I
Hmm.
think Mama Esther said it to me about 6 times that she's going to take the vaccine. And I said, well, fine. I'm just not ready. I'm watching you people, all of you that are taking it. I'm watching because all of you are pigs. All of you, when I see that it is totally, really, really safe, then I will maybe take the vaccine. So I'm not closing my mind to it, but I'm just watching you people for another year or 2 or 3 to see what
Hmm.
it really does to you all, what the effects are real. You are my experiment. You all, and I thank you all for taking it, and I thank you all for allowing myself to watch and to learn and make a more conscious decision on what I want to do. But at this particular moment, with all the flip flopping all over the place, and you trying to buy person's body, I mean, to give anyone shots for, you putting money out there, you putting tickets out there, you putting trips out there,
Scholarships, fish,
all these things out there
beer.
that I just have a problem with that. So thank you very much for doing it. Don says we will see who is correct by the end of summer as CDC removes masks. CDC has already removed masks.
They sure have. They say it's your choice.
Already
I'm
removed
keeping
masks.
mine on. Thank you very much.
It's not a mandate. Here, even in Georgia, it's not a mandate anymore for you to wear a mask. We are fully open. So it is your choice. It is your choice. And whether CDC says or don't say, it's my choice. And I'm going to make a conscious decision for what is right for me and mine. And I expect for everyone to make a conscious decision of what is right for you and yours. Sandra
Absolutely.
says, I feel people should do their own research about COVID and stop always listening to what other people are telling you. Find your own way of covering yourself. And that's
That's
all.
right, Sandra.
Everyone do your own research and find out what is best for you.
Carry your own water.
But when I say do your research, do a complete research, not a half a research. Do a complete
You
research.
didn't say why I decided not to take it though. You didn't explain that.
Sandra Brown said, I just try to stay safe, and that's all we can do. That's all we can do with every day. We take precautions in everything and every day. When we didn't want to catch AIDS, we know we know what we had to do. When we didn't want to catch, we don't want to catch gonorrhea, you know what you have to do. You don't want to catch
Herpes.
herpes, you know what you have to do. So everyone just be safe. As
Don't
Sandra
be nasty.
said, so we might see a third wave or maybe not by the end of the summer. We will pray. Well, I will pray that we do not see a surge by the end of the summer, by the end of the winter. I pray that we don't see a surge again. And I pray that whom took the vaccine, that it works for them. And I pray that
Yeah.
does not have not taken the vaccine, that that works for them as well. Okay. And whatever you're using to make your body immune, I pray for you and I pray that it works for you, whichever way. So, in no shape or form of way do I wish that any surge ever,
Mm-mm.
but I don't at this particular time feel that the only way for it not to be a surge is through being vaccinated. I don't think that that's the only way. Brianna says, exactly. I've learned about it yourself and do what you need to do to stay safe. And Brianna,
Absolutely.
I'm always asking my ancestors in the universe to not have any spread. And on the
That's
phone line,
beautiful.
they're trying to let you believe that shot is working, and that the person says that they agree that for each person's themselves and just be safe and just pray and wish, because at the end of the day, I think the prayers work, because with all the positive energies that are going out there and people getting in tune with themselves, their bodies,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think that is also a factor in it, because you had a lot of persons who didn't care for themselves, were not taking vitamins, were not
Mm-mm.
being aware of their bodies, were not trying different type of herbal remedies that are out there for us. The same way cancer, they would tell you chemo and all these, but there are other ways to beat cancers.
Absolutely. Baking
Let
soda
us
is one.
investigate and broaden our view and not just look at vaccine as our savior, you know, not just look at our vaccines as our savior, because I don't think it is. Sandra says, love yourself and others whom you go around, trust God. And, I ditto that. It's 9:07. We have even gone over the overtime. And
Guess it must have been good. Must be getting good to us.
next week we had brother Atiba that had linked us, and I'm hoping that he linked with us next week, because there was a sister that hit me on something about a bill, and I guess they were saying, I'm asked, did you have questions in regards to a bill that was being passed or was going to be passed?
About Texas and them bill and the guns.
Okay, the Texas gun bill, right, and them not having to show ID and all of those things. We're going to touch that next week, as well as all of our current affairs and happenings all around the world. And I'm not sure if we ever really answered Sybil's question. Because Sybil, I didn't forget you. Your question
No,
was
I think that the answer is that because of the way the British people try and conduct business as though they are a clearinghouse for all government business, they want people to follow a certain protocol. Now, remember that the World Health Organization has not given any direction one way or another one, and apparently people are not listening to the World Health Organization because they must trust Boris Johnson, the clown, as much as they trust Dr. Fauci.
okay. So
Crazy to me.
gonna research it more and find out what is the Cobra shot.
It's
And
COVID. She's saying COVID.
oh, that's what she's saying. Without
Yeah.
okay, because I see Cobra. I'm like, what
She's
is it?
saying Cobra, but you know how our phones are. We got phones that don't understand black people talking.
I do apologize,
No,
Sybil.
it's good. I can interpret these things.
Okay, yeah. And I want to know, is that legal for them to tell you you must have a COVID shot in order to enter their country
Yeah, for them.
without any
But
guarantee?
the deal is what the airlines, how is the airlines going to enforce that and from other countries? They got people coming there from all over the world.
And
So the Bahamas is not going to be able to do this.
they're gonna lose a lot of tourism.
You know what?
Sandra Brown says, and we should also discuss about the government is considering not having people tested for drugs to get employed.
That's Amazon. They already dropped the requirement for weed because they can't get enough workers in their warehouse to kill. We just gonna drop it right there like it's hot. Okay, but we gotta go. But the one thing I do want to say is that next week we really need to touch Jamaica. There's so much going on, and the lady that asked the question about the lake and everything being open, we need to really investigate what type of protocol is being followed because they got an emergency order on top of the stay at home order. So there is a state of emergency on top of the stay at home order. The stay at home order is for COVID, but the state of emergency is because of all the gun deaths that happen all of a sudden. Like we're not talking about all the time. We talking about a spate of about 10 people getting killed in an hour. So that at that point they decided to drop the state of emergency back into play, which allows them to be able to shut down streets anywhere at any time and tell people whatever they want to.
Okay, well, we're going to be touching that next week. Sandra says, so is other jobs, not just Amazon. And Brianna says they need a drug check. They need to drug check politicians and government officials that have handling within the government. That is a good one right
The
there.
pills, we need to check for pills. We don't need to check for weed. We need to
That
check for cocaine. We need to check for methamphetamine. They don't go into the fat layer in your body. That's why they don't check for them. Because within 24 hours, they're already out of your system.
system. Yeah, that's why it's an alleged preferred drug for Caucasian people. Is
Also, you know, one thing we got to drop in that before we go is we got to tell people that the reason that people that smoke weed that are black, the reason it stays in your body so long is that melanin, as a 100% foundational part of your DNA, attracts other foundational parts of DNA. And believe it or not, THC is part of your endocrine system when you're born. So when you start smoking it, your endocrine system starts to right size itself and you start to think more clearly. A lot of people don't think that that's what happens, but if you've been smoking it for a while medicinally and you're not just out here just smoking because you want to be silly, you actually have medicinal benefits and they are proven medicinal benefits. Not only that, they've also determined that the reason that it stays in your body so long is because it's already there when you're born.
hey, that's an
Ain't
info.
nobody crazy. Some of us did take science.
That's the info. Brianna says, and the rich CEOs drug testing for job is just a hatred of poor people. And Sandra says that is true. And Brianna says exactly. So
Oh yeah.
it's that's something. That's
Look
something.
at me stretching the show out another 2 minutes.
That's something with the HTC already being in your system from birth. So we need
It's
to
part of your brain.
we're going to touch all of that next week. I'm jotting everything down.
Oh
So
yeah,
be
but we
touching
ain't gonna see it till next week.
HT next week. We're going to be HTC and being born with it and the effects
Yeah,
um, that it's having on humans, persons now.
and you know
Uh,
who we need to have in that discussion?
yeah, that's why they are legalizing it in many states now. Sandra said,
We need to have Medicare data in that discussion.
"Yeah, Medicare daughter, you definitely gotta
You being requested Medicare data. We need you next week.
So next week we're going to be hitting Jamaica, HTC in our bodies, and all of our current events that that we definitely reason on. And always feel free to call in. Our number is 706-955-2001. You can text, you can call in. If you want to be a part of the panel, you could just hit me up and I'll see if I could we hit us up and we can see if we can jot you in there.
We
Just
friendly. We don't eat our guests,
we we'll bring you in. We'll bring you in and we'll take you out too. All right.
but it will be enjoyable.
We want to thank each and every one who participate. However you participated.
Oh, our sick and shut-ins.
Our who?
We got sick and shut-ins. Remember, we got 3 people still on the list. To our sick and shut-ins from Mama Acid and Lady D, we love you. We praying for you. We lifting you up, and we know you're gonna be right here with us. So don't be thinking you leaving and going nowhere. We ain't having that.
Okay. I want to say big ups to all each and every one all around the world that is listening.
Oh, and one special big up to Queenie.
Big up, Queenie. I'm glad that you're interacting back again and trying to call in. I do apologize. I see that you were trying to call in. And so I want to say big ups to each and every one. Once again, listen to the fantabulous programmings over here on the Powerhouse Radio. As you see, Reason and Thursdays. Each and every Thursdays from 7 p.m., where we just direct and we're at it. And also check out our Saturday mornings with the Bishop Blair Gospel Explosion each and every Saturday mornings from 8 to 10 a.m. And then yours truly, Lady D, is on from 12 to 4. Next week, Saturday, we're going to have the legendary Lady Ann, informant of the area murderer. Yeah, she's going to be on our program next week, Saturday. And Sunday, do be sure to listen to our gospel explosions in the morning, kicking it off with the gospel vibes crew from 9 to 11. And then we join the Hope Redemption Worship Center from 11 to 1. And then check out I Am Meta with the Medicure Data. And
Yes.
from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. right here.
I
And
can't wait till they start going to 8.
about your mind, your body, your spirit. You got to check it out. And then be sure to check out the big show, all about love, nothing but love for all of the lovers, the non-lovers, the wannabe lovers, and all of that. Check us out on a Sunday from 7 to 9 with Blossom, Cool G, me, Lady D. It's hot. You have a
It
request?
should be on from 8 to 12 though.
You got a request? Call in because trust me, that's a beautiful show. And check
It
out
is. That's why it should be on longer. I don't know why you have to cut us off.
check
We
out
just be enjoying the music. And then all of a sudden you be like, okay, see you next week. What?
check out the Kids Way each and every Tuesdays from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. They're all 11-year-old, fantabulously intelligent children. Check them out and give them your support each and every Tuesdays from 6
6
p.m.
to 7.
And then check out Wednesday. Let me tell you, hot show, Let's Gripe. Check out the Let's Gripe crew with Tonia McKenna and the last man and only man standing, Marcus, on
Marcus.
from 7 to 8 p.m. with Let's Gripe. As we continue to add some fantabulous programming right here on the Powerhouse Radio, I'm hoping that you'll continue to join us and grow with us. And we do ask you to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a family member, even your dog, your cat, make up something for them too. And go to our YouTube channel, like, subscribe, and press the notification button so you know when all the programming is right here on the Powerhouse Radio. And following Thursdays, tonight is the
Too
breast
strong.
strong praise moment. So we're going to go into two strong praise moment once we are completed on a Thursday night with Reasoning Thursdays. So to get your praise on and get some wonderful gospel in your soul, check him out. It's a
Oh
fantabulous
yeah.
program, and that's on Thursdays following Reasoning Thursdays. All right. So we just want to big you all up. We want to tell y'all we love you. Love when you like cook food, and just be safe. Wash your hands. And Bishop Blair, big up. He said, God bless, good bless.
God bless. God bless.
Wash your hands, wear your mask, and sanitize, and love up.
Social distance.
Social distance, but love up. Love up, love up.
No, social distance from racists.
God, just ask for coverings in everything that you do, and you'll be all right. Acid, you want to say goodbye to our listeners?
All of our listeners all around the world. I know y'all are probably saying many things about me right now because I was turning down messages and rejecting phone calls. And it ain't about y'all. It's about us doing the show. So we need y'all to dial in to the show.
Yeah, call in.
We
7
love you. We appreciate you. We just can't wait to see you every Thursday because when we get you to subscribe, we know that you really love us. So we need that subscribe. We need you to share. We need you to call up your friend of me and let them know that we talking about them.
All right, tell them, tell them, tell them, tell them. Okay, love you all. Good night. Be blessed, and join me on Saturday from 12 to 4. Join Bishop Blair first, 8 to 10, and then join me, Lady D, for the Lady D show from 12 to 4. We're gonna leave out with the big man himself because we're trying to work it out, and we're hoping we can work it out. We don't already know we have to make a change, but I think before there's a change, we have to work it out. Love you all. Peace. We gotta work
Work
it
it
out.
out. We gotta work it out.
We gotta work it out. Uh-huh. I find it hard to believe that we
We
don't love
don't
no
no
more.
more.
Find
I
it
find
hard
it
to
hard to
believe
believe.
we don't
We
love like
don't
before.
go.
There was a time when we loved, live in love and harmony. We had a whole lot of love. We lived in unity. So
Yes.
where did we go wrong? We don't sing the same song. Where
Where
did we
did
go
we go
wrong?
wrong?
We don't sing that same song. 'Cause I find it hard to believe the way we
We
treat.
don't love no
How
more.
we treat each other? How we
I
treat each
I
find
other?
it
find
hard.
it hard to believe.
We
We
should be
got
a
some
brother.
brothers.
There go my part. Ciao, ciao.
There was a time when we lived in love, love and harmony. There was a time when we lived in love and love and
Love and harmony.
where did we go wrong?
I want you to really listen to the words. It's a really fabulous song, and it's so truthful.
Why don't we sing the same song? Yes.
I find it hard.
Sisters don't like
They
sisters.
don't like sisters. Why?
Brother killing each other. Yes.
Why?
Sisters don't like sisters. Yes. Brothers shooting each other.
Craziness.
It's crazy,
Uh-huh.
but it's so true. And
Hey, Don is telling us,
Don is telling us it's hard to believe we don't love.
man,
See your brother when he's down. Why don't you help him up? Yeah.
Yeah.
Giving him helping hand. Yes. Help him to get a little stronger. Yes. When you see your sister getting down,
Exactly.
Try to get a little bit stronger so we can all move along. Yes, find it hard to believe that we don't
We
love
don't
no
love no
more.
more.
I find
I
it
find
hard
it hard to believe
we don't
we
love
don't
like
love no one's
before.
more.
I find it hard to believe, yes, that we don't
We
love
don't
no
love no
more.
more.
I find it hard to believe we don't love like before. We gotta work it out in this time of war and strife. We gotta work it out. Mankind must place more value on life. We gotta work it out. Let love lead the way. We gotta work it out. Cause if we don't, where will our children play? We gotta work it out. We gotta work it out, yes. We gotta work it out. We gotta work it out. Come along, run, come along.